Welcome to the Brooklyn Historical Society, where the vibrant history of Brooklyn is made tangible, meaningful, and relevant today. These videos feature inspirational highlights and excerpts from our teaching and learning materials. To find more resources about the history of Brooklyn, visit us online at www.brooklynhistory.org. This is the second video in a two-part series about the role of women's labor during World War II. This video explores issues of racial and gender discrimination at the Brooklyn Navy Yard and the fight for equal pay. Woven throughout this video are the voices of women who worked at the Brooklyn Navy Yard during World War II. As World War II drew thousands of Americans overseas to fight, American women entered the workforce back home to fill empty jobs and to support the war effort. Here in Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Navy Yard employed many women. Working at the Navy Yard brought about new opportunities for women in the 1940s, but it also led to discrimination and unequal compensation. Working women faced discrimination and pushback from both men and women. Men were angry about women doing men's work. Non-working women argued that the clothes women wore to work at the Navy Yard were inappropriate. Today, women wear a variety of clothing styles, but prior to the war, it was unusual to see women wearing pants instead of dresses or skirts. The act of wearing pants, something we now view as normal, was once something working women felt was romantic and exciting. A woman named Mimi Leipzig worked as an assistant shipfitter at the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Leipzig later spoke about what attire was deemed appropriate for women at the time.
I was walking in the street and I was wearing slacks, and an older woman stopped me and she said, "My dear, if you don't have a skirt to wear, I have one at home to give you." And at first I was taken aback, and then I said to her, "Well, I don't know if I could wear a skirt on my job in the Navy Yard." And I was so proud that I could say it. I mean, I would have thought of another retort if I wasn't working in the Navy Yard, but it was such a good idea that I could say this to this bossy woman, this bossy, arrogant woman. But there must have been an awful lot of concern in society about women, even then, about women changing on, wearing clothes that men wore, all kinds of things like that, not being ladylike.
At the Brooklyn Navy Yard, women trained as tack and arc welders, shipfitters, and machinists, among other manufacturing jobs. Many men felt threatened by women working at the Navy Yard and by these women doing their jobs as well as or better than the men. Women working at the Navy Yard did not work aboard ships until late in the war, a remnant of an old superstition about women being unlucky to have aboard ships. As a result, women did their work in factories and men would outfit the ships at the docks. Mimi Leipzig also recalled the ways in which men reacted to the presence of women at the yard.
The men really were disturbed by us. A lot of the men, I shouldn't say all of them, but the fact that we were working there, you know, there was a macho kind of thing.
Another woman, Carmela Zouza, worked as an arc welder and spoke about tensions between men and women at the Brooklyn Navy Yard.
So I worked in the Navy Yard in 1942. I was 18 years old. They were hiring a lot of people, and most of the neighborhood men worked there. But my father was against me going because he figured going into work in a plant like that, it's mostly men. So I said, let me try it, So they put us in a room with what they call mechanical instructors, and they trained us for 3 months, and I did arc welding. So we worked on parts of the Missouri. We weren't allowed to go on the ship, but we worked on the inner bottoms, overhead welding, and vertical welding. And when we walked into the shop, the men told us to go home where we belong in the kitchen. So we all yelled out, "Shut up." But we showed them up,
Women also faced unequal challenges as a result of facilities at the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Because of the low number of female workers at the yard prior to the war, the complex lacked even the most basic facilities for its new employees, including women's bathrooms and locker rooms. When they first started working, many female employees had to walk long distances accompanied by supervisors to access facilities with locked doors and closed stalls. They often took matters into their own hands, hanging curtains to provide more privacy and forming plans for more convenient bathrooms. Despite doing some of the same jobs at the Navy Yard, female workers were paid less than their male counterparts. In 1944, skilled female workers averaged $31.21 per week, while skilled male workers averaged $54.65 per week. Noting the inequality, women fought to receive equal pay for equal work. Friends Ida Pollock and Sylvia Everett worked together as welders at the Navy Yard from 1942 to 1945. Both women spoke about their role in this fight.
And that must have been in 1941, right? No, 1942.
It's 1942.
1942. So wherever we went, were interviewed, and we had to take an exam, which was called
I didn't take the same time you did.
Yeah, I think.
But I don't remember what it was called.
It was called. We were called mechanic learners, which was a new title.
Yeah.
And we were paid about half of what the third-class welders were paid when the men. And then at one point, I don't know, maybe after a year or so, we began to ask for equal pay for equal work. And there was a union, but I don't remember which union.
I don't either.
No.
But there was.
And they stepped in for us, and eventually we got that $1.14 an hour, which the men had been getting.
Despite these gains, working women continued to fight to receive equal pay for equal work. In 1941, President Roosevelt's Executive Order 8802 desegregated the civilian workforce at military installations. Roosevelt's order included the Brooklyn Navy Yard and allowed Black Americans to work in a variety of civilian jobs. Prior to the order, Black workers were unable to work the same jobs as white workers, but after the order, Black and white workers would work side by side. Despite the order's call for an end to workplace discrimination, Black workers at the Navy Yard still faced roadblocks, particularly when it came to promotions. At the Navy Yard, white women like Lucille Colkin moved up the ranks from tack welder to shipfitter, but her African American coworkers met greater resistance. In a letter to her husband Al, Colkin recounted the story of her friend Minnie, an African American welder. Minnie's supervisors resisted promoting her to the more skilled and better paid position of shipfitter. The proximity of workers from different backgrounds, including among the women, led to new exchanges and relationships. Lucille Butler Ford, a Black female welder, worked at the Navy Yard and interacted with women from different cultures. She later recalled some of the ways in which she got to know women from other cultures through her work.
One girl was a Jewish girl and an Italian girl. Oh, Frances. She was another one of my friends, and she was very curious. And she said she had never been to Harlem, so I said, "Why don't you come and visit me?" So she said, "Good." I said, "What kind of food do you like?" She said, "Tell your mother to cook anything." We were in the Bronx. It wasn't Harlem. It was in the Bronx. And she says, "I've never tasted greens." So my mother made greens. And of course, she didn't have the pork chops with it. But she had something else with sweet potatoes.
Even though women and Black workers did not earn the same amount as white male workers at the Brooklyn Navy Yard, their contributions to the war effort, as well as their fight for equal rights and equal pay, laid the groundwork for future demands for change. For more information about the history and work of the Brooklyn Navy Yard, Check out our Ingenious Innovations Curriculum Kit on our Teaching Resources webpage and our Brooklyn Navy Yard Research Guide in the Research Guide section of our website, www.brooklynhistory.org.